bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes,
facts, boots,
and other stuff.
In this week's issue, World's Finest Wednesday.
Welcome into a World's Finest Wednesday edition of Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I'm Zach, joined as always by the monstrous one. No, that doesn't fit. I always try to think I don't know what something that is jungle related that starts with an M.
I don't know. Midnight Marauder?
Yeah, sure. The always talented, always ever loving and full of joy, and just look at him. Look how happy he is, folks. Mr.
Hi.
Mike. I'm Zach. This is Bros, Foes, and Heroes, a World's Finest Wednesday edition. We're usually focused on some Silver Age shenanigans, and we have been working through our number 2. Okay, Pete sucks. We're attacking somebody every episode.
It's the same guy. Same guy every episode.
Well, but
I find all his shit laying around. That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
He needs to clean up after himself.
Okay. Fine.
Then we wouldn't have these problems.
And he's never gonna know about this.
I know. He'll never know about it.
No.
That's why I do it.
This is where we usually focus on a Silver Age story, or as I'm trying to get Mike to reel back in.
Yeah, we're good.
We've been working through the 1961 Batman Annual. Our Batmanual.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been going through the different Batmen that were around at the time.
It just sounds weird to say that.
It is. We focused on, actually, before we dove into that, we talked about Bat Ombre, who was a South American Batman. And then we looked at a Batman who had to fight crime all underwater, right? And then there was...
Hey, Batman. What? Fish.
Then there was a Batman who was also an Indian chief.
No, he wasn't.
Sure.
But
I'm just saying, then there was a Batman who was the Lord of Bat Manor. Was the only last time where he fought
his junk.
He fought in a kilt.
Showed him all his haggis.
He learned to say he solved I don't know why I did that. Long centuries.
It was all in the bell.
Mysteries. It was all in the bell.
It was all in the clock weights.
Yeah, it was. Well, what we have today was another story from that annual, from that Batmanual. From Batman number 72, Mike.
The Jungle Batman.
We're going to talk about Jungle Batman, Mike.
Robin, put a shirt on.
So this is from August of 1952. Our cover artist here, Mike. You want to guess who did the cover art? This is actually very funny, and I did not plan this at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
Think about what we covered on Monday.
It looks like a.
No.
Oh, really? Is it one of the Spidey people?
It's Win Mortimer.
Oh my God.
Win Mortimer did that cover there.
This is completely different art, though.
It is, but yeah, that's
this looks very Black Condor-esque or whatever.
This was earlier. Old school. This is from 52. So remember, he worked a long time.
Okay.
So the stuff that we saw was 25 years after this.
God, they were making an old man do those Spidey comics.
Yeah, he was born in 1919.
That is even worse.
So. But it's our pal Win Mortimer.
Ageism.
This is the thing, is I've slowly been able to introduce Mike old people in comics. So he's familiar with guys like Dick Sprang and Win Mortimer and Bill Finger and stuff. Bill Finger, not Fanger. I don't know.
Finger.
But Finger. Anyway, we're looking at the Jungle Batman from.
Hey, can I ask a quick question?
Go ahead.
What's the red thing behind Robin?
It's a plant leaf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But this is from Batman issue number 72.
The
Jungle Batman. The writer of this was David Vern Reed. We'll cover it. The writer of this was David Vern Reed. When we're going to get to the story, because the story is different, obviously.
God, I wish that Panther had been successful.
Here's what's interesting.
Eat Robin.
The penciler of this story is, it says Lou Sayre Schwartz, or Schwartz. I'm sorry, Lou Sayre Schwartz. It has Bob Kane listed, but as we've talked about, with so many ghost artists, I don't know if Bob did anything on this or not. Probably not.
No.
Inker Charles Paris, letterer Pat Gordon.
Pat, you did a great job.
What we do have in this story, though, is we have a PSA involving Superman.
He doesn't even look like Superman.
He doesn't.
He looks like Shazam. Yeah, absolutely.
Very much.
He looks just
very
like
much looks
Shazam.
like Shazam or Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
But it's about how you need to, be safe when driving your car.
Yeah. Well, that guy who's driving the Model T really needed to look.
Well, he's not. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Because they get out and they're like, oh, I expected him to do this. Well, I expected him to do this. And Superman's like, well, first of all, the youngster, of course, was careless to start with, but he didn't even stop to see if the road was clear. But then you two shouldn't have taken things for granted, like thinking he should have done that and he should have done that. You all need to double check, is what he essentially
He put himself between the two cars like a human cushion, it said.
It does say that.
Huh.
Gosh, thanks, Superman.
Golly, thanks, Supers.
This fella would have crashed right into me. I didn't think he'd swerve over as I was passing him. Something like that.
What's a kid and a bicycle have to do with it?
Because he's just about to drive out into the middle of the intersection.
Oh, I see it up top. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You know what?
Oh,
I
poor boy.
completely
Poor boy.
Poor boy.
Poor little boy.
Poor boy. Hey, if you have any comments,
Poor boys.
or compliments or recommendations,
Yeah.
feel free to email us at brosfoes, and we're always forget where my
They
fingers
said,
at.
Zach, we love you. Get a new co-host.
brosfoes@gmail.com. Do you not want to co-host anymore? I can find a new one.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they tell us that.
No, nobody
Because
has.
of the comments.
Nobody has ever told me that. Everybody that
Okay.
watches the show that likes it. Everybody that watches the show that likes it. No, actually, most people who watch the show, even if
Thanks, Jeff.
even if they don't like it and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's not for me," they will at least compliment and said that they appreciate our banter back and forth and like our relationship.
Well, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Even though
sweet.
Mike hates me apparently and doesn't
I
want to
do
do
not
this
hate
anymore.
you. No,
So let's
not
get
at
into the
all.
Jungle Batman here. As Batman's in the jungle, as you can see, and it's
Why?
by Bob Kane. You want to know how I got to this jungle? I'm here to tell you.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. You like the hippo with the mouth widening, like the whole
Yeah, it's
jungle
really good
setting
stuff.
there?
All of that's great.
One evening, an obscure freighter.
This is 19 what?
52.
52.
My
okay.
dad wasn't even born yet.
Okay.
So, anyway, we come across this freighter that's empty that has dummies for a crew and nobody's there. And they're like, you want to understand why that this crew is just a bunch of dummies? Well, hold on. Well, I'm going to have to go back in time a little bit to tell you this. And we're taken back and we're shown that Batman and Robin have completely kind of stopped the plan of this group called the Sinister Eight, which is like the 8 biggest criminals in the entire world.
Okay.
Don't worry. We're going to have some racist caricatures of them later. Batman's got you.
You know why they're in the jungle?
Why?
Because the African Queen came out the year before this.
Ah, okay.
That's exactly it. I thought it was either that or Jungle Book, one or the other. And Jungle Book's in the 60s.
Oh, okay.
So African
well, I mean,
Queen,
the book was out, but
the little, the ship, though, the little profile of the ship there up top
Makes you
reminds
think
me of African Queen, yeah. Humphrey Bogart.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So they stop the Sinister Eight, and the next day, Commissioner Gordon summons Batman and Robin and tells them, like, hey, the Navy has consented us to loan us one of their experimental Radok.
Excuse me?
Radok? R-A-D-O-K? Radok.
Okay.
We're going to use it to deport the Sinister Eight, like to send them back. And he's like, okay, so it's a remote-controlled ship. Like, that's cool. Why do we need that? And they tell Batman, like, everybody in the criminal underworld has essentially put out money saying that they're not going to let us deport and send them back to Satan Island, where we had kept them.
Satan Island?
Satan Island.
Staten Island?
S-A-T-A-N apostrophe
Satan
S.
Island?
Satan's Island.
Oh.
Yeah, they're sending them to
sounds
Satan's
like
Island.
a bad place.
Yeah, like they're like, oh, we're not going to let them take our. Let me try that again. They've paid enough money to where they're not going to let us take the bosses back there. So the crew is afraid, like, of these threats, and so nobody wants to ride on the boat to deport them back.
Nobody should go to Satan Island.
So
That's
why
a terrible sounding place.
So that's why they're using the remote control boat. But Batman and Robin are going to be the only law and order on the ship, and the prisoners will be locked in the brig while they're there, and Batman and Robin will give them their food and water.
Ah.
Yeah. And he's like,
Okay.
all right, let's do this. So they're planning for the trip. We see all 8 of the goons, the evil people. It doesn't matter who they are.
Yeah.
It's just, we gave them.
That Chinese guy right in the middle, huh?
Yeah. We just gave them, just very stereotypical racist things, and we're just going to go with them.
Wait, what are their names?
No.
What are their names?
I will read you some of the Sinister Eight names.
Just
include.
You didn't make these up.
No, I'm fine. They include. I can't read. Is that Frenchie Ledoux? Frenchie Ledoux.
Yeah. Frenchie Ledoux.
Sing Dan.
Okay.
Singh.
Yeah.
Sing Dan.
He's Middle Eastern.
Baron Hingler.
Baron von Hingler.
I'm assuming you're German.
Mm-hmm. Very German.
Ling Chi.
Okay. I think we all know where that goes. Yeah.
Luigi Verona.
Oh.
Okay.
He might be Italian.
Maybe. Aldo Toledano.
Aldo Toledano. Sure.
Okay. The Liverpool Kid. Who is just a short guy, like very
he's English.
short. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
And Sumatra Joe.
Sumatra Joe. The Liverpool Kid. And what was the first one?
Frenchie Ledoux.
Frenchie Ledoux. That's my new name.
Frenchie Ledoux.
You can now all call me Frenchie Ledoux.
Frenchie Ledoux, can you?
Frenchie Ledoux. No, Frenchie Latois.
Maybe. Hey, Batman's biggest villain.
Frenchie Latois.
Liverpool Kid and Frenchie Ledoux are both under 5 feet.
Yeah, they're very short.
Yeah,
very short little fellows.
So Batman gets introduced to them all, and
this guy.
They lock them up in the Briggs there.
I think he has the mumps.
That's the Baron. That's the Baron. They also let Batman know, hey, if just because escorting all those prisoners wasn't enough, you're also responsible for well worth over $1 million of secret scientific equipment. Okay. Batman's like, all right, don't worry about it, Commissioner. I'll make sure that it won't. Yeah. So they're there watching over the criminals, and as they're sitting there, I love this too. This made me chuckle too much. Batman's sitting here thinking, he's like, they're locked up and secure, and they haven't a chance yet. They're strangely in good spirits because they're all like, having fun and laughing and stuff on this remote-controlled ship that Batman and Robin are on.
I like how Batman's like, tee-hee.
Yeah, but he's thinking like, why are they so happy? And Robin goes, it's as if they knew something that we didn't. I've got a funny feeling, Batman, that we're in for trouble. So you might think, oh, they're on to something. So usually you would be like, oh, at that very moment, Robin has a sick feeling like, oh, something else is going on.
Yeah.
And a few days later, as if to answer Robin's hunch, Robin forgot he said that a few days later.
Yeah, it's been a week.
Yeah. And it's like, man, wouldn't it be weird if like somebody was watching us? And in that moment, something fell in the room. We're like, if something falls when we're not here 3 days later, it's not connected to this at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I
get
that. Yeah.
We see these guys in the sub.
Batman, I get a funny feeling when a girl walks by. Well, Robin, let me take you in this room and tell you about it. I don't know. That's where I thought that was going at first. Like he said he had a funny feeling.
Well, we find out that there's...
Or I thought he was going to throw up.
He might have. And then that's all he was. He ate some bad shrimp.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that was why it was a few days later. He had to get better.
We find out that the criminal gang has hired this ship essentially to shoot a torpedo at the remote control. And they do. And they aim right at the remote control ship. And the torpedo hits, Batman and Robin. And it's a direct hit. Whoever did it knew that the brig was in the stern because that's where they shot to like let the prisoners out. And he goes, and there goes our radio mast. They thought of everything, and it's like, all right, no telling how long the ship is going to last. Like, we got to free the prisoners. We can't just let them die like trapped rats in there. So Batman and Robin go down to the Briggs.
You got to go back for a second. It's my favorite. You got 3 different arrows telling you where to read next on this one.
Where's the third one?
Third one's up top in the little tiny arrow.
Oh, it's coming out of the eye hole.
Here's what he's seeing in his eyeball.
Orange blobs. But yeah, so they let all the bad guys out. To swim aboard, but Batman and Robin stay on the ship. Why? Because of that $1 million worth of scientific equipment. Because Robin goes, what about us, Batman? Aren't we going to abandon ship too? And Batman's like, no. We must stay until the very last. The secret Navy equipment must not fall into anyone's hands. And, if by some miracle, he's like, if by some miracle the ship will stay afloat. And then he's like, oh no, now the bow, it's taking on too much water. And they're like, or is what Robin tells him. And Batman goes, you're right. Strip off all unessential clothing. We're in for a long swim.
What the?
So they strip down to that Batman. They strip down to that Mike, except for their mask.
The shirt's gonna make a difference.
Yeah. They strip down to everything but the
Essential
mask,
clothing.
and they dive in and they take off. They swim away from the ship as the ship they lose it to the sea. They come across this island, right? And while they're there, safe at last, and they're able to rest some.
He's just wearing his mask and like a Speedo.
Yeah. It was unessential clothing, Mike.
The shoes were very heavy. Had to take those right off.
Had to swim a long time.
Yeah.
He goes, we'll need clothing, shelter, and food is why Batman's telling Robin as they're like going through this, island here. And he's like, we got to be on guard. He's like, we don't have our utility belts with us. We don't have anything. Later, look.
Yeah, because you threw them in the fucking ocean.
Look, Batman, we can live in that cave. Why? It's a South Seas Bat Cave. Robin's already like, all right.
He's a dipshit.
And he goes, Robin, above you, that panther, it's ready to strike. And the panther jumps down on Robin, and Batman hits it on the back of the head with a club. And he goes, and Robin says, good shot, Batman. You've put that beast out of commission, and you also saved my life. Later.
Robin's an idiot.
Later, it's dead, all right. Broken neck. Come on, Robin.
They've just been poking at it with a stick for like a half hour. What is wrong with Batman's ear there, by the way?
I don't know.
You see that?
Yeah.
That's really odd,
It
isn't
is
it?
an odd-looking thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not Batman. Maybe that's Squirrel Man.
I don't think Batman's looking. I don't like where he's looking.
Well, they're looking down at the panther.
Robin
is sad, and Batman, I don't know what Batman is.
Batman's like, aha, I killed it. Yee-hee.
I think you're out there poking him with this thing. Batman's like, like he's poking it just very aggressively for no reason. Oh, that's so weird.
I love dead things.
Yeah. Yep, it's dead, Robin. Did you have to make those weird noises, Batman? Anyway.
Can I ask a question that's not related to any of this?
Sure.
I just got a notification for a page that I help administer.
Yes.
Right. This person says, hello, and then the name of the person that they're trying to address that they think owns this page.
Okay.
I have known you for a long time. That's the whole message. That's the entire message.
Congrats.
Just reminding you, I've known you for a long time.
Congrats for knowing me.
All right. Okay, so Batman loves dead things, and he pokes at them with a stick. Robin gets sad when he sees dead kitties.
Even though Batman just saved his life.
Sure.
So, get ready for later. There's a lot of soons and laters in this comic.
I just don't understand the whole stripping your clothes off.
A few days later.
Look at that.
A few days later. Well, here we are, Robin. This is what Jungle Batman and Robin look like. Who are they talking to?
Yeah, I
ask
don't know.
you.
They're not talking to anybody.
Who were they talking to?
That's exactly what happened in that Spidey thing we did on Monday. They like the criminals kept talking to Easy Reader.
Yes.
Who, if Easy Reader's there the whole time, he's an accomplice.
Exactly. But here's what I want to know too. Look at what Robin's wearing.
Yeah.
Doesn't it look like it was what he was already wearing?
Uh-huh. Yeah, he didn't do anything.
So a few days later, Batman makes a new outfit for himself.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, look, this is what Jungle Batman and Robin would look like. Stupid regular Robin and me in cool jungle garb. Like, that's what I get the feel of.
They have socks on now?
Yeah, they have like netting over their feet like they're Romans.
Yeah, I don't understand this at all. This is silly.
But they are discovered by part of, suddenly, the crack of a rifle, and they come across 4 of the Sinister Eight.
Okay.
So they try to get away, but darn it.
Oh, so wait. So the ship sank, and they got away?
They got away.
And they got to this island?
And they got to the island. And then the lifeboat that they escaped on.
For
days.
Okay.
And the lifeboat they escaped on also had provisions and, like, guns and, like, things like that.
Well, then Batman and Robin are the idiots here, right?
Exactly. They decided they wanted to go down with the ship because of that equipment.
What the hell are they eating?
Berries?
Jungle berries?
Jungle berries? I don't know. Jungle berries from the people who brought you Fruity Pebbles.
Maybe they ate the thing that attacked them.
Oh.
Maybe that's why Robin was so sad.
Speaking of thing that attacks them, wait for that.
All
But
right.
they try to get away from them, and I just love this. Right now, retreat is the best strategy. And since we don't have our silking cords, who calls rope silking cords?
Silken cords?
Silken cords.
I love that.
We'll just use what the jungle has to offer, vines. And so they like escape on
You know who calls it silken cords? Frenchie Ledoux.
Frenchie Ledoux does.
He calls it silken cords.
So they go through, and there's this whole elaborate thing. They set like this, they dig a hole and they put leaves and stuff over it. And then Batman also goes through and like ties up these loose branches in the trees above him. And Robin's like, you've run a vine from the trap, occasionally knotting it to a branch off of a dead tree. I don't get it. And he's like, you will in a second. Just wait. And so they go up and they watch. And he uses it and he pulls and it like cracks. And so it makes noises. And so they think they're following the right trail after him. And eventually they get and they fall in the hole and they take out 2 of the guys that way. And they go down to like wrap them up and they think like, all right, this is going to take care of them for a while. They wrap their mouths closed. They have a post in the ground. They have a post in the ground and they wrap them closed with like rope or whatever. And then they, those like bamboo, or not bamboo, but like the sleeve, like the you see them in houses, like the blinds. It's like the vine blinds. You know what I mean?
The vine blinds.
You see what they're using there, Mike, to like wrap them up in?
I see what you're talking about, like the bamboo shade kind of thing. Yeah, the thing.
They're just wrapping them
like
in
a room
those,
divider almost kind of thing.
Yes, but that's what they're wrapping them in.
Gotcha, okay.
Then,
those are super strong.
They come across elephants on the island.
Uh-huh.
Batman rides one. He goes, this isn't exactly the Batmobile, but it will do until something better comes along.
Batman looks like an idiot.
Nothing better than an elephant comes along. Look at Robin, his dumbass riding an elephant too, down in the bottom corner.
Robin's an idiot too. But I'm just saying, Batman in a singlet with his stupid Batman mask on and his nets on his feet, that is probably, I would venture to say, I thought he looked better in the headdress.
Than he does there as Jungle Batman?
Yeah, I think he looks like a freaking moron.
Blimey, it's Batman and Robin.
Blimey.
That I kind of went Australian instead of English or Liverpool. Anyway.
Yeah, that's Liverpool Johnson or whatever you said his name was, right?
The Liverpool kid. Batman leaps off of his
tiny he is.
Batman leaps off of his elephant. That's right. That's a sentence I never thought I would say. Batman leaps off of his elephant to go down and attack the criminal. Then, as the 2 criminals attempt to flee through a field of ancient stone carvings, they come across trees,
that's a thing.
some saplings, and Batman goes, that gives me an idea. And he has Robin hang on to it, and they bend the tree down, and like a slingshot, they sling Robin from the trees, and he tackles some of the bad guys. And Batman, not like, hey, nice try, Robin, is just like, good aiming, if I say so myself. He's just like, you know what, Robin? You suck, but I did really great at that, and I'm the reason we are so good. That's just what I feel like with this Batman. At the end, they knock out those 2, and so now they captured 4 of the 8. A half hour later, he goes, yes, and remind me to inspect those sulfur deposits I see around here. As they knock out.
Is that his words for farts? Sulfur deposits?
Man, Robin, you smell the sulfur deposits on this island? Oh. And Robin's just sitting there shaking his head.
Panthers always make me gassy.
We didn't have to eat it, Batman. Like, we have, like, meals and MRIs for days.
MRIs. We have MREs.
MRE.
Not MRIs.
Oh, MRIs are like...
magnetic resonance imaging.
Oh, you know what it stands for.
I've had a lot of them. Yeah.
Well, you are like Iron Man.
My bones are bad.
Yeah, you got bad bones.
I got bad bones.
So an half hour later, and he's talking about a knife that Sing Dan was carrying that he stole, and he's like cutting a hole in the coconut, and Robin tells him, stop fooling with that coconut. Look,
that's a phrase too. Stop fooling with that coconut.
A ship is headed right towards the island. Robin tells Batman, he's like, quit fucking around, Batman. There's a ship coming.
Stop trying to hump that coconut, Batman.
Quit trying to cut a hole in that coconut, Batman. And he goes, yes, our ship, and it's the other 4 remaining bad guys. And they're like, come down. We'd kill you, except we want you to lead us to our other 4 that you've captured. That's
not how you get somebody to come down out of a tree.
And he goes, look at Batman trying to drink out of a coconut. Let's spoil his fun. Let him stay thirsty. And they're like, yeah, Batman, no more of the simple pleasures for you. Throw down that coconut. And Batman, as Batman observes, you asked for it. My own combination of gunpowder and sulfur. A very effective gas bomb. Come on, Robin. We can go down and round them up now. And one of them says, wow, no utility belts and gas pellets. So he makes a giant gas pellet out of a coconut. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah.
That's our Batman.
Yeah, that's our Batman. What would happen if you mix gunpowder and sulfur?
Well, let me tell you.
I'm looking it up too.
Oh, okay. All I just like the fact that Batman calls his farts sulfur deposits.
What does sulfur do to gunpowder? Sulfur and charcoal act as fuels, which the
Sulfur is a key ingredient in gunpowder.
while the saltpeter is an oxidizer. So honestly, he's just adding more sulfur to gunpowder.
Yeah, sulfur itself is a fuel. Sulfur lowers the ignition temperature of the charcoal and potassium nitrate mixture, making it easier to ignite and burn rapidly. Oh, there is some kind of basis to this.
I'm just trying to see, what is a gas made from gunpowder? Nitrogen, carbon dioxide, blah, 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 blah.
Did gunpowder used to be called sulfur in Minecraft? That's what I got. So
What's the answer there? Anyway.
All right, let's get to where he fights an octopus.
Yeah. So then they're like, all right, we're going to go take over that yacht then. They're expecting the bad guys, like Wheel.
So they're on an island for days.
Days.
This is an island that's frequented by yachts.
No. Okay, I'm sorry. There's one part of the story I didn't add earlier because it's not that big of a deal. I don't think. That the sub that sent the torpedo, their valves were faulty, so they couldn't pick up the prisoners now. They were going to have to shoot the ship and then come back later to pick them up. So they sent the yacht to go pick them up. Yeah, I know. But that's that. So as they're swimming to the yacht,
it's like saying your elevator's going to crash. So if everybody can just jump right before it hits, that'd be great.
Essentially. But as they're swimming to the yacht, a giant octopus attacks Robin, and he goes, and I need some sort of weapon. And so he goes down to the bottom of the ocean and he finds a bottle like stuck to the ocean floor.
Sure.
And he breaks it off. And then he goes to fight the octopus with it's like a bar fight in the bottom of the sea.
Underwater, yeah.
He cracks the bottom of the bottle and he swims up to the octopus, and it says, and then a wild and furious battle to the death. And the thought bubble honestly says, take that and this. Look like that does it. But he's honestly just like, take that.
You know what lesson I took from that?
Honestly.
You know what lesson I take from that?
What?
Littering is good.
It is. It also looks like he is straight up just jabbing him in the eye with it.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's how you fight an octopus.
So after they rest briefly, after killing an octopus, they go aboard the ship, and
they've killed an octopus. They've killed a panther. They've blown up some criminals with farts. Right? They've shot Robin with an elastic tree.
Yep.
Okay.
And the other criminals on board the ship are like, hey, I didn't sign up to deal with Batman and Robin, and they surrender. And about that time, we're wait for the best part, Mike. So they have all the bad guys, and everybody on the bad guys' ship is surrendered, so they take back over the ship.
Yeah.
And with the fight over, he tells them like to put them in the brig, and we'll get it all ready, and then we're going to head home. And Robin goes, Batman, look, our uniforms all washed up and ready for us. That's right. The uniforms they lost at the beginning have floated all the way over to their ship. And they grab them and they put them on. And then it says 2 weeks later, Batman and Robin, we had given you up for dead. This is the happiest day of my life, is what Commissioner Gordon says. Not my wedding, not the birth of my kids.
Is that Commissioner Gordon?
It's Commissioner Gordon.
In the last panel?
In the bottom, yes.
Wearing a straw hat?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the fact that you guys are alive. And Batman's like, we're kind of excited about that too. And he's like, all those adventures, and just look at your uniforms, neat as a pin, as if you just stepped out of a tailor shop. I'll never know how you do it. And Batman goes, let's just say we had a wave of good luck. Robin?
Oh, my God.
The end.
This is where, a little known fact,
this
is where the script for Castaway came from.
Oh,
right,
I did not know that. Yeah. That is nice.
Originally inspired by Batman and Robin get naked in the jungle.
I do love that. Batman and Robin get naked in the jungle. Solid. So there you go. That is our World's Finest Wednesday this week. It was short and sweet.
I'm a little worried about those elephants. Like, where'd they go? They just jumped off and the elephants ran away?
Yeah.
That's not the way elephants work.
No, that's the way those elephants work.
Okay.
Mike, it's comics.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a wacky place.
There you go. I think next week we're gonna take a break for some Batman. We've covered Batman for a straight month of World's Finest Wednesday.
It's good, yeah.
Or we'll find stuff. But there you go. That's the time that Batman was a jungle Batman. I made a short this week.
Batman's a dumbass.
I made a short this week. Or last week. I mean, not this week. I made a short last week where it was like you say something about we're going through and we're talking about Batman, and you're just like, Or we're Batman of America. Not South America Batman. No. Not Indian Chief Batman. And I was thinking of a name for it, and I was just like, all right, I think we have a Batman problem is what I titled it because we have way too many Batman.
There's too many Batmans.
Anyway, that does it for us. That is a World's Finest Wednesday edition of the show. Thank you guys, as always, for taking the time out to watch and
this gives
to
you
listen.
an entirely different take on Batman, though. Like, you know, because I would say for the last 20 years or so, everybody's like, oh, the dark, brooding Batman, you know, blah, blah, blah.
That's not how it always was.
Yeah.
Like, that is the Batman. That's from the monthly Batman comic.
Yeah, he was stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just goofy.
Until
Him and Superman both. I mean, they were just both idiots.
Until the 80s, really. Like, well, in late 70s with, like, some of the stuff that Neil Adams and I'm seeing them in my head, and I can't think of it. Neil Adams and
very
Denny O'Neil were doing,
extremely misogynistic.
Well, it was very much like it was written by middle-aged men of the 40s and 50s that you could kind of tell. Not saying that everybody around that time that was, but it's like if you watch Mad Men, you're like, okay, that fits. So
yeah.
All right, but that does it for us. We'll figure out what we have coming up in store for you next.
I know we watched Landman. You ever watch Landman?
No.
You know,
I have not.
I really like John Hamm.
John Hamm.
But he's on too many things.
Ham and Bubble. He is on a lot of things.
He's
I
on
like
a
him.
lot of things.
You think that about a lot of people, though, I feel like.
Well, because they have these bursts where they're just on everything I watch all of a sudden.
Fair enough.
Know? Landman, Mad Men.
Didn't you think that about Jason Momoa?
Your Friends and Neighbors is his new show.
Yeah.
He's on the morning show.
Yeah, but that's been over for a while.
No, they got a new season coming.
Oh, really? Okay, my bad.
And so, I mean, I'm just like, this is a lot of ham.
That's a lot of.
I mean, it is Easter, or it was just Easter.
It was just Easter.
Yeah, it's still a lot of ham.
For ham. All right.
John Hamm's ham.
John Hamm. That was for Ham on the Toilet, the SNL bit. My favorite one was Ham and Bubble, where he is kidnapped Michael Bublé to sing jingles for him for their restaurant.
I like that one too.
Yeah, that's really good.
That one, and then the one where he's in black and white and he bursts in blackface holding a catfish. Have you ever seen that one?
No.
That's on SNL.
Oh, John Hamm.
He bursts into the room. If I'm not mistaken, wearing blackfish, holding a catfish. Or wearing blackfish. Wearing blackface.
Blackfish was a documentary. Wasn't that the documentary about Killer Whales?
Yeah. Well, was it Blackfish?
It was something like that.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. This got depressing at the end.
Yeah, well, anyway, that does it for our World's Finest Wednesday. Thank you guys, as always, for taking the time out to watch, to listen. John Hamm. Taking the time out to watch, to listen, to suffer through that. We appreciate it very much. The one that he did?
Yeah.
No.
I haven't watched it either, but I'm really afraid of it.
I am too, a little bit.
Yeah, I can't watch that, I don't think.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you haven't, make sure to check out the Rogue Media Network and the Rogue Media Network family of podcasts. Great stuff there.
RogueMediaNetwork.com.
And until next time, stay safe, everybody.
Hey, John Hamm, Golly Con.
Pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.